Okay, I downloaded what I have. I think today's more or less a check-in to see who's having problems and things like that. I didn't have that many. Hang on. Where's James at?
I'm right here.
How come we don't have this further along?
I actually redid them because I was doing like the menu look with kind of depth, and I just thought it was getting too far away from like an infographic. So I kind of redid 2 of them.
I think you can go, like, because I remember what you were doing before. I think you can go really illustrative with it.
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, yes, it has to read, but that's the challenge, right?
Yeah.
Because we want to stay away from it becoming too, I mean, I like them. I mean, look, there's a bunch of ways to go. If it's being super informational, then it's super informational.
Yeah.
But if you're having some fun with it and everything, I think you can get really clever with how you handle it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, it's just about conveying information. How you do that is up to you. And if, you know, and it's context, you know, if the New York Times comes to you and goes, hey, we want this infographic on the pandemic, you're not going to go, hey, here's some funny, jokey thing. You know what I mean? It's inappropriate, right?
Yeah.
But outside of that, I've seen a lot of things that are very serious subjects that are done in a pretty illustrative way, not just, you know, and very clear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So be careful that you're not going a little too dry, right?
Okay.
Because one of your strengths is your creativity. You come up with creative ideas and you're developing your own style and all that kind of stuff. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But your weakness is execution, getting it finished, right?
Absolutely.
So work on that because you're getting all the other stuff. So work on that. Yeah. And that just means, you know, digging in, you know, half of this stuff, you know, if people are good at it and stuff, it's usually because they like it and are having fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, tap into that. Like, let's sit there. Like when I have a project, I was just talking to my girlfriend right now and I do stuff for the restaurant. And I go before the summer term starts. And even, you know, I'm starting to kind of a little bit get a handle on my workload right now. Right. But I'm going, we should do coloring pages for the restaurant. I go, they could just be fun. I don't have to really overthink them. I can just sit here for 2 hours and just come up with some silly little thing. But anytime a project, I actually have time that I can dig into. Like usually when you're in house or whatever, you're putting out fires, you got all these things on your plate and you're like, man, I just want to sit here and work on this stuff and have some fun with it. You know what I mean? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, and I just lost 2 classes.
Who did?
Me.
What do you mean you lost 2?
Let's just say I didn't keep track on the work I was supposed to do, and it's hard to do the work as I'm distracted in my own home.
Well, I can make the counter argument. You're sitting in your house, so you don't have all those distractions of the outside world, right?
Oh, that's true.
Because I like right now, like this. I'm working on a video right now for another class, a tutorial, and I was thinking about it, and I go, this social isolationist thing. It's like, welcome to my lifestyle. It's basically what I've been anyway. I'm usually isolated doing my thing. You know, I don't really care. I mean, I like to go out into the world, but human interaction, I really don't care for a whole lot. You know what I mean? Other than my students and stuff like that. But when I go out in the real world, most people, I just don't like people that much. So for me, it's not that big a deal. I just sit here and I burrow into all the stuff I love doing. You know, it's one thing about being an artist is you don't, the thing about it being, sort of a solitary thing sometimes works to your favor. You know what I mean? Because I hear all these people and they go, God, I'm so bored. And it's like, I'm never bored. And I haven't been bored through this at all. You know, I got a ton of stuff to do. I got a ton of stuff I want to work on. I have a ton of stuff I haven't been able to get to yet. Just personal stuff, you know? So just take advantage of this time, you know? Sit there and have fun with your projects. You usually having to drive to school and all the things you have to do every day. Right now, I'm not hardly driving anywhere, you know, I'm just here. So when I'm done with this class, instead of going to my office, I'm here and all my stuff is here. I can work on anything I want to work on, which is really actually kind of nice. Okay. Tatiana?
Yep.
So just work. Okay. Like spend some time on your projects. Okay. And I know I don't know if this is true or not. Some students are like, oh, this teacher, that teacher's giving me so much work. And I don't know, maybe that's true. I don't know. But I mean, do the work, you know? Fresh squeezed orange juice. All right. Okay, James, so you know what to do, right?
So,
Next one I want to see on Wednesday, I want to see it really pushed forward.
which
Is
one?
what-
I submitted 2 of them today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I only have one.
I mean, it's one JPEG with 2 images on it.
Oh, yeah, yeah, okay. So let's say the one on the right then.
Okay.
What is it?
You're talking about, it's the blue one?
Hang on, I'll share my screen. The blue one, yeah. What's that?
Inside, like, the bodies, I was going to put the information for each one of the plagues that have from history.
I like the way you're doing it before because it was like really playful and illustrative. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you think I should go back to that? I don't know. I kept thinking, like, I guess I could submit those drawings, but I kept thinking it was just too much because I was then, like, designing a menu, then I was having, like, Death holding the menu.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Maybe you're right on that part of it. I get that. But I remember there was some like silhouette stuff or something in it that I thought was interesting. And I get you, you know, the hands and all that stuff. I get you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's starting to kind of go outside of the infographic thing. I get it.
Yeah, I was starting to go, like, where's all this information going to fit? Because now I had all these.
Yeah. Well, okay. But you had some cool ideas in there. You had some cool ideas in there. And I'd have to see him again. But, you know, maybe it's about, what day was that?
I think it was last Wednesday, wasn't it?
Do we know what day that? Let me see. So today is here. So it would have been the 20th, maybe. That's Monday, and then Wednesday is the 22nd. So it's either the 20th or the 22nd. So let's see. I don't have one for you for that day. I don't have one from you for either of those days.
Oh,
So I don't know what day it was. I remember seeing it. So
I could
maybe,
re-upload it.
or maybe it was a different day.
It was definitely last week. I remember.
It was last week?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That's weird because that's the 20th and 22nd. I don't have anything in there for that. Oh, by the way, you guys, I just put a link on under announcements, like right before class. That's the Retro Supply halftone screens, okay? I wanted to get those. I know I've been talking about them for a while, and I want them too. That's why I went and got them. But right before class, I'm like, just go get these stupid things and stop talking about them. So I put them up there. I haven't even unzipped it. I just put the zip file up there. Those are really cool, and I think it might be cool maybe for some of you guys, but if it makes sense for what you're doing now, okay?
These are different from the last ones you.
I just bought these.
Oh, okay.
These are all halftone screens, so they look like here. Come on.
I just dropped the sketches from last week in the Dropbox.
Okay. It's these here. Which are fun texture. So anyway, it's that set, okay? I just got them this morning. I'm doing, like I just said, I'm doing this bunch of stuff for the restaurant, and I might want to use them for that. Because I do stuff so fast, I got to find something to kind of juice them up a little bit because I do them so fast that sometimes I'm like, yeah, it's not really that great. But anyway, I'm trying to put lipstick on a pig. All right, so you put it in there?
Yeah.
In which one? Today's folder, right?
Yeah.
Like this was about like plagues and all that, right?
Yeah.
There was something about this I liked.
Okay.
I don't know if we talked about this or not. Hang on. Is where you have this kind of thing. How is there a clever way to say that interior information that it still ties back, so it's not just like a word bubble or whatever? Does that make sense? Because like I like that head tilted, and I like the whatever that thing's called. What is that thing called?
Scythe, is it?
Yeah. See, I never know how it's pronounced. You know how that's sort of the capper at the top, almost like a border. There's something a little bit Klimt about it, like Gustav Klimt, I think is that the name, about it. It feels like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
There's something that feels a little bit like that about it to me, but there's something, I think if you could solve integrating these into it in a clever way, I think this one would be cool.
Did you put the bodies that you designed like inside that like death figure?
That could be a solution.
Yeah, that could be cool, yeah.
Yeah, integrated in somehow. You know, I feel like whenever you're doing these kind of things, the idea and the visual need to be integrated, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I would go with that overall thing and just figure out the interior.
Okay.
Okay? Because I like there's just a lot, like most people wouldn't really think of that, the way the head's turned, which is interesting. It's kind of creepy a little bit. And then that little, almost like a banner at the top, but it's the, whatever that thing's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that. So I want you on that, yes?
Yeah, I'll do it.
And if you need to go back and forth with me before Wednesday or whatever, then tell me, okay? I got a student right now just sent me a sketch like 2 days ago, and I've just been swamped, and he just keeps hitting me on email, and I'm like, dude, give me a minute, you know? Okay. Where's Chris at? Is he here? Is Chris here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so what are we thinking here? Like, which one do we land on?
We landed on the one in the middle. This is the one I uploaded. This file is the one I uploaded for last week. There should be a new work in progress I uploaded last night.
Wait a minute. Maybe I bet you I'm in the wrong folder. Hang on, because I just opened it up.
Yeah, it was in the April
Yeah,
26th.
April 20. What is today? 27th. Okay.
Yeah, it was labeled April 26th.
This one, right?
I finally started building in Illustrator, although I don't have a whole lot done because I got caught up in the research a little bit, because I think I said last time that I initially tried to like combine I guess because I wanted to combine the hero's journey with the 3-act structure and a different story structure together, and try to use like easier to understand terms, but that proved to be a little too difficult because I was trying to combine different ideas. So I just went back and just decided to do just purely the hero's journey, and then I finally figured out how to organize the what would you call it, like those rectangles.
Now before
where
you
you
talk about using like iconic movie scenes or something.
Yeah, so I'm still gonna do that.
Okay, so make sure if you're going to have them contained, which I don't have a problem with, but I would probably here and there I'd break these borders, where a character breaks out of the border or something like that. Does that make sense?
Inside those little inside of the smaller rectangles, right?
Yeah, just they don't have to everywhere, but if you have, and like I was just looking this morning. Let me see if I can find it.
And I guess another thing, I was really concerned about and I know it's probably too early to bring this up because I don't have a whole lot right now. But one of my concerns is that I'm afraid that the end result would look I guess visually boring, because I don't know if I should keep the background just like a plain white, or if I should do like a cool design for each little rectangle for the image of a movie and the step of the journey. The font, the typeface I have there is Courier New, because that's the typeface they use when they type up screenplays.
Oh, it's like a
But although
typewriter.
I don't know. Yeah.
Go get a typewriter font. You can get that. I think you can even get that on free fonts.
Free fonts? All
Yeah,
right.
and a lot of times you can get them where they're kind of distressed a little bit, where they have that little, how the typewriter thing would hit the thing and it wasn't exactly perfect.
Yeah.
Like I was noticing that Shag does a lot of these. Like he uses. Let me see if I can find a good one.
But
Like
yeah, really the only difference. Huh?
So Shag uses a lot of like movie imagery, right?
Yeah.
In his stuff. I don't know why this popped up this morning. And then like he has some that are like scenes from movies and stuff, but I don't know why the way he does them, and it sort of emphasizes the ridiculousness of the scene. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Because you kind of look at it and you
Yeah.
go, like I think he did one of the Planet of the Apes or something, and like maybe I was thinking of this, which it's not an illustration. But I know he has done stuff with Planet of the Apes. Hang on. Or even he's like like this is from an actual show. If you're old enough, like I am, where Kiss was on this Paul Lynde comedy show or whatever it was in the 70s. So he uses these iconic moments from like movies and stuff like that. And like this seems so ridiculous to me now. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're seeing it through a different lens, right? And I think you could do the same thing with your movie scenes. I love that idea. You're gonna have a lot of work on that though. And by the way, the reason I'm having so much discussion around this is like when we get towards the end of the term, I like to have a project. And by the way, you said I went down the rabbit hole of research or whatever. I want you to do that, okay? Like you wouldn't do a project like this without doing a lot of research, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of discussion. There would be a lot of discussion with an art director around this, okay?
Yeah.
Because you're going to want to make sure you got a bunch of problems here to solve. One of them is it has to look cool, and then it also has to be super informational. That's a tough challenge, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to find. I bet he has. Hang on. It's like an overload of tiki culture. This stuff. Hang on a sec.
Yeah. I guess I just kind of felt a little bad that I started actually building the vector version of it at this point in time.
No, here's the thing.
Well, because like we had like I think, didn't we spend like
Say it again.
Oh no, because I think we spent our first 2 class meetings for this project at least on thumbnails.
Yes.
And then I felt like for last Wednesday I should have at least started building it and then to have something to show you, but instead I started it later.
Listen, one thing I like about Illustrator is that once I have an overall idea, I can start to execute, and I can kind of you don't want to do this without any plan, but like you were talking about the background, I kind of go, I think you have the other stuff kind of figured out, your whole overall concept. I'd start building, I'd start building it and building little scenes and everything. And then I'm going to kind of go, does this need a color in the background? And then as you're working, you might go, oh, I know what that needs in the background. It needs a ghosted version of that, or whatever. You know what I mean? Because it's just not like doing a painting, or even a painting, you can do that. But Illustrator to me is very malleable, what do you want to call it, flexible, where you can kind of go, oh, wait a minute, this can get bigger, and then these three things need to get small. You can kind of do that on the fly if you start building your assets. Like in this case, your toughest thing is going to be your scenes from movies, right? Yeah?
Right. Yeah, right.
And then like the reason I'm bringing up Shag is that like there's a Planet of the Apes one probably. Or here. And I know he's not taking an exact movie reference, but there's just something so ridiculous about those characters. I thought that the original Planet of the Apes when I was a kid, I thought it was like the coolest thing in the world. You know what I mean? And now when I see it through this prism, I go, God, it was so ridiculous. Those movies were so ridiculous. You know what I mean? And I think you can do a little of that where they're kind of funny. Like when you pick the right scene and you highlight it, they're just kind of funny. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I think a little humor in this obviously is cool. I mean, you're doing a subject that's not like deathly serious. You can have a lot of fun with it, I would start building those individual scenes.
Okay.
Okay? Because then you're going to have the main part of your asset sort of finished, and then you can kind of group those and then go, okay, this is going to fit in here. It's going to break the border. This one can be a little bigger, whatever, however it's going to work, and start building it. Okay. But make sure that you're giving it a little, like a flair, like a nice little stylistic flair. Always do that, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if you're doing something like this, you're a freelance illustrator or something like that. Freelance illustrators, like this type of illustrator, they live and die really by their style. People are hiring you for your style and your ideas. That's basically it, right? Just like with me in my career, a lot of people were hiring me because I could do a lot of things. So they bring me in and go, well, he can do a lot of things, all this different stuff, and he can manage a team and all that stuff. But a freelance illustrator, they want your style, okay?
Yeah.
And you're always kind of doing your own thing stylistically and all that stuff. And I want you to keep pushing the sophistication of what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've talked about that, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And I'm still trying to find that guy. Remember the guy I told you about I wanted you to see?
Was he that UPA artist that you were telling me about a while ago?
I think he was a UPA guy, and I used to see his stuff all the time. I think he was on my Instagram or something. I cannot remember his name, but he had a
I think so. Yeah, you were telling me about him when I was in the last class I took with you. Dynamic sketching. Yeah. It was for that one character project, and you told me, oh yeah, there's this one artist they should check out, and ever since then you still haven't told me about him.
I bet you already know him because I think he's really well known. But he would post these great, like, that kind of UPA sort of ratty ink line thing, really super stylized with a little bit of like off-register color, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love that look.
Yeah, he was awesome. And I cannot remember his name. It's weird because usually I remember like that kind of stuff. Yeah. But I think he had I can't remember, I don't know. I keep looking for him and I can't find him. And I know he's a big deal. Mm-hmm. That's what's weird about it. Anyway, simplify those things and make them super fun and silly.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely, in my mind, I sort of envisioned it as a flat style, almost kind of like in a similar way, like the Shag artwork. Huh?
Yeah. And then play around. Just do what you think. That's why I put the halftones in there, because you might go, well, I'm going to put a shading on here. Well, maybe I'll try the halftone thing. Maybe that'll work. Whatever.
All right.
And there's also, it looks like there's some, I haven't gone through it yet, but it looks like there's some cool kind of ratty hatch line things, and that might be kind of fun. But that's up to you. Stylistically, that's up to you.
Okay, yeah. I saw that email. I'll check it out later on.
Okay. Okay. So some of the stuff, I'm not going to comment on the stuff that looks to me like it hasn't moved that far forward yet. Where's Jessica? Is she here?
Yeah, I'm here.
I can barely hear you. Okay, so what are we thinking here?
So I was gonna do like the boba, and you suggested to do more like of a process.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of decided to make it like a recipe, and then also have like little facts about boba as well.
I'd be careful with the sort of like, okay, number one, I'd find a better typeface.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm commenting on these things right now, I know you guys are just starting to build them. So, you know, stuff might be just placed type and all that. I get that.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. When you do this kind of thing, like if you're going to have, because I had somebody who did this project and they really did a really cool job. And it was like they did I think a baking process or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did all these kind of like what you're doing, because first she started off, it was very dry. And then I go, why don't you make the characters, the ingredients, the characters or whatever. And she did a great job on it. But what you got to do, what was that? What you got to do, hang on. Is, or not got to do, when you're making this, so what is this character here?
So the little guys are like to be the boba, little tapioca pearls.
Oh, okay. Now, I wouldn't go, well, you could. I'd give this guy a little more flair.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what that is. Like he's just got, and again, you got to be careful here. Like I might have his arms more up this way instead of sort of, can you see me? Hang on.
Yeah.
I have to turn on the thing, otherwise I can't see you guys. It makes me crazy. Hang on. There, okay, now I can see you guys. You know, maybe he's a little more, he's looking up. Maybe he's a little more exuberant. I don't know. But kind of that thing when you put your arms up like that, you know, as opposed to like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I know it sounds like a nothing thing, but it actually matters.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, what do his feet look like? Maybe it's just that, you know, just a little, or maybe it's just like his feet come down, they're just a little wedge shape. Just anything to push the design a little more. And then the other thing I would say is, see how small these are?
Yeah.
You want to, whenever you're doing a graphic, so let's go. You know, like this whole part here, and I'm just throwing ideas out. This whole part here, so I start with my tapioca pearls, then I add black tea and milk, and then you're adding. So the thing to me is, the first thing that pops into my head is I have this big glass that's going to go in, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe I have my tapioca pearls like floating around like in a pool on like little pool, whatever you call it, raft. So I start off with that, and then I go to my next one, and on the side of the pool now is my little milk guy, and he's joining the pool party. Or maybe I have a slide that comes down. The next one, the little milk guy is sliding down the thing with his feet up. So everybody's like joining the pool party. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about like, how do I take all these things and go from just a process to now, when I looked at that, I go, you have a vessel, which is liquid. So in my brain, it goes to pool party. There's the tapioca pearls are hanging out, and all these other ingredients are starting to join the party. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you could do this as one graphic, this kind of idea, because you could go, do it in a really fun way. And again, you have to organize this information. That's annoying. There we go. You could go, however you verbalize, these guys are already here, but then you can go add, maybe, I don't know if it's just simple, but maybe it's just a thing. It's like add milk and it's a fun typeface. And then, or maybe you could even give it a metaphor, something else is showing up. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it's just a way to give it sort of a metaphor. And then you have types of them. Okay, so this could just be a side thing. This, I like all the guys up here. But again, like if I'm going to do this one, then I might have that. Like this, all the tapioca pearls in the, whatever that's called, the measuring cup. Instead of just having them like that, I'd probably, make them bigger maybe. And then I can have them all coming out to here, where they're kind of stacking up and making a bigger statement. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the point is, whenever you're doing this kind of thing, you want to make that, if I put a bow tie on a little character, that bow tie is going to be bigger probably because I want to make sure it really reads and that it's a little more stylized. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You got to make kind of big statements. So this could still be a small graphic over here, or can I connect that to, these are all the guys that are going to the pool party. Can I connect all these things together in a really coherent way where it's fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Straw, that's fine. If I draw the straw, I'm probably going to do, and I know you're early on, but I'm probably going to draw the straw. And I don't even care if they use this kind of straw. It doesn't matter. That kind of old school straw, the bendy straw, those?
Yeah.
Then there's an iconic straw that has the little, whatever you call it, the little. Now, the only way I wouldn't use something like that is if they use some sort of specialized straw on this thing or something. If they do that, that's different, okay?
Yeah.
But this, the red striped straw thing and the little bendy thing, it's just something usually people remember from childhood and stuff like that, and they still use them, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just looking for, and this guy, he's ready to go to the pool party, so he's like, yeah. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
And then, is there a way that I can have like a lounger next to the pool? My guys are sitting on the lounger. If it works. And by the way, if it doesn't work outside of the pool or whatever, don't do it. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They could just be sitting on the side of the pool. And I know I'm going down this rabbit hole, and I'm not saying you have to do it either.
Yeah.
But I like thinking about this stuff. You can have guys that are just kind of sitting on the side of the pool like you do with your arms on it and your legs dangling in the water. I could put a little ripple around their feet where their feet hit the water. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And again, you know, whatever, however I do that. You're introducing different players into the pool, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I think. And again, I'm just spitballing. I'm not saying do this. I'm just trying to get you into a certain type of thinking. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, good. And super fun typeface, man. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
like this, if we go, I mean, obviously I have certain ones that I like. But I mean, again, I'm not saying do these, but like this is a pretty straight typeface. And I use this typeface a lot for like things that I want to look fun. But hang on. No, that's not the one I'm saying. Hang on. Like Ed Gothic's nice. It's not too much, but it's fun,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or this whole family, I think, is fun for stuff like this. I love this one because I like to lock these together just because that's kind of what this typeface is. But I might just do something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make a big type block. You know, and then do some kind of fun color, that kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I love typography. It's not my forte, but I love typography. And it's something, what's your major?
Graphic design.
Okay, so you need to go down the type rabbit hole big time,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And really start learning. Yeah, there's so much good typography out there, you know?
Yeah.
And especially right now, there's like a bunch of it, you know? Anyway, just something fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have that, you know, that fun thing. You have big graphic. You know, you have your smaller stuff like your little measuring cup over here, and this is, you know, tilted and that and all that kind of stuff. And it's, boba totally should be fun, right? At
Yeah.
least I think it should be. Get rid of that. All right, that all makes sense, correct?
Yeah.
And again, I think I just said this, but I like a lot of discussion around these sort of into the term things, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, that's the reality of a project. You're going to be working on it with people. And especially something like this where you're organizing information and then there's the artistic side of it. That's a tricky combination to put together, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey, Kyle, you here? Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Give me a little more stylistic flair on it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, these things can be, and I always figure this out before I ever touch, at least up to a point. And I don't even know what I would do with this. But I just start looking, you know, maybe I just reduce it down. Do some simple graphics. Maybe I can kind of see a little bit of the face. I know yours is a little more serious, so I get that. But I might just sort of reduce it down in some way. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Isn't the key reason they poach these things is for the tusks?
Yep.
So that's probably needs to be in there. You know, and these could be really, because sometimes they actually do get really big like that.
Hmm.
You know, just real simple, you know.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't have to be, I get it, it's a more serious thing, and you might not want to go as fun looking because this is a really grim subject matter, right?
Yeah.
But just reduce them down somehow where they're just simple and they got a stylistic point of view, okay?
Okay.
Like even on the trees, you know, again, I'll go back to this one again. The way that he, and again, I know this is going to be more cartoony, but I'm just talking about the reduction of shapes and the simplicity of shapes. Come on. The way he stylized those trees in the background, right?
Yeah. Oh
And then
yeah.
you're talking about Africa, correct?
Yeah.
So it's going to be, or as I remember, a very specific type of tree, right?
Hmm.
Because I know they have those,
Like the umbrella trees.
yeah, the ones that are sort of,
Yeah.
you know, so I could do this branch thing going up into it because I think that's how it works. Yeah, it's like an umbrella tree, you know, and then I have this shape up here and I just sort of make a simple version of it, right?
Hmm.
Nice, because that's really important. I mean, when you see those pictures from there, it's always those, I don't know what those are called, but it's always those trees, right?
They're called umbrella trees.
Or is that what they're called? For good reason, right? So anyway, think about that, how I can simplify this. And then you can make like maybe two of these and you can just like flip them and, you know, squish them a little bit and stuff like that. And you only have to make one or two, right?
Yeah.
Probably one, really. I could probably make one and like make it work. It'd be fine because you're doing an infographic thing. It's a different thing. So if I do one big one, and then I just take the whole same one, and now I just combine all the shapes together, and I just fill them with a bluish gray, and then I put them smaller behind the other ones, and all of a sudden it looks, you know, and I flip them maybe, and it looks like a couple of them behind it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's just, you know, stylistic point of view is about it.
Okay.
I'm looking at Connor. I'm looking at yours. I don't see that much other than there's some type now,
What?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get started on the illustrations because you're going to have quite a bit of illustration to do, right?
Yeah, I'm still dealing with the buildings, I promise.
The what? The buildings?
Yeah, it's all right. I'm still dealing with the buildings, I promise.
Yeah. Okay. They're going to be popping out, so you're going to have iconic buildings sort of popping out of here, correct?
Yeah.
You know, and then I don't know what buildings are there, but you know, let's say I know it's not there, but let's say it's the Chrysler Building, and I know that's not there, but I don't know New York, and whatever, you know, pick however many you're going to do. Ooh, that was That one's totally on. It should actually go.
You were saying?
You know, just start building that stuff. Okay.
Yeah. I sent send that over. It's just let you know I dealt with the type and move with the title on top and move the area map thing.
Get more than type. I mean, we got to start getting into the illustration. Okay.
Yeah.
And I get it. You want to place your type a little bit so you don't, but your type's going to move around a little bit as you do the illustration anyway.
Yes, I'm gonna work on it today.
Yeah, and keep those things fairly simple. Like just reduce them down. And I keep forgetting to put up that architectural one. I'll try and find it today. That the other student did that I thought was really good.
Yeah.
Luke, you're just starting to build, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's keep going. And also, well, I have to wait till I see a few more in there, and then we can start to figure it out. Okay? Then we'll see how they all relate to each other. But it looks like you're building. That's what I want you doing. Okay, that's those. I only have 6 today. Hang on. I got to do something. Sarah, how come yours is late?
I think I turned it in like at 10:05.
That's late.
Sorry.
Let me see. And I know some of you guys right now, I'm fine with you if you guys are working right now. I really want to move into working. What I really want to move into, you guys, is like this process of discussion and everything. And then I want you to get them laid out. And then I want to start having the discussion as you're laying them out of like, I want to do this. I want to push this. I want to do that. So then we can start solving problems, probably learning new tools and things like that I haven't thought of yet and stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I love being in a project and you guys are doing a good job of this where we're having good discussions around this and then you're, tweaking things and then some stuff I say, you go, I didn't like that. I'm doing this. And what do you think of that? And you know what I mean? Back and forth. Okay.
Yeah.
I really love that part.
Okay. Mike, I just submitted like a revise I did right now. I just dropped it in. Do you mind looking at it real quick?
Yeah, I'll look at it. Let me get a screen grab. Good, that's done. I hate doing that. Okay. Oh, all right, Sarah, I should have yours. Oh, not bad. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Hang on. I have a bad habit of forgetting to share my screen. Okay, what do you think?
I kind of, when I was looking at other people's like vector arts, I like the style where there's like kind of a pencil line. So
I
kind
love
of
that too, yeah.
not sure, like, should I make it simpler or?
No, I think actually you're in a nice kind of area there.
Okay.
It's feeling stylized. Here's the thing, the trick with, at least to me, with stylization and things like that. The thing I always say about it, and I probably said it in here, is you don't want to feel like you're in the middle. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Because I like a lot of just real simple, fun, I don't know how to explain it. Just simple, fun, cool drawings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what people don't realize is that I show a lot in my illustration class of like Mimi Pond and people like that who do this real simple style, and then they think like, oh, that's easy, and it's like, no, it isn't. It's actually, to me, it's kind of harder than going in and doing this big draftsman thing. Like, draftsmanship's great, but it's like it's hard. It's kind of hard to do that. You know what I mean?
That's kind of what I'm feeling too. It's like hard to kind of, yeah. Like when I see some people, I'm like, it looks so simple, but I don't know why I can't get there.
What the trick with that is style. And then the other thing is like you can't be in the middle. Like you can't do a drawing where I go, is that a style or is that just a crappy drawing? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the trick. And I love the people who do this sort of, they call it primitive style, but I don't really consider it primitive. I actually consider it much more sophisticated. I mean, if you open up the New Yorker, there's no big draftsman-y stuff in there. It's all this like fun, cool style,
Right.
I mean, Peter just said, yeah, he's got a beautiful draftsmanship, but it's still super fun and silly and all that kind of stuff, right? I'm trying to think off the top of my head I mean, there's so many of those guys I like.
Yeah.
And I have a student in the illustration class, and she's a graphic designer, and she's got let me see if I can find her real quick. She's got a really fun style like that. God, I can't believe I can't think of people who I like that. I know so many of them. But I like it when I see students starting to define a fun style like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing fun stuff like that.
Oh, cool. Is that
Nice.
vector?
And she has some really cool drawings.
Yeah.
Let me find one. Like even these are like her sketches. Those are cool.
Yeah, that's really good.
Really good.
And it's interesting because I know I've said this before in here. I get so many graphic designers who just kick the crap out of the illustrators in my classes, and it's really interesting to me. And I really do think it's because they think about design,
Yeah.
I can't believe I can't think of who. I think this one's cool.
That's drawn, right?
Yeah.
Or is that vector? Oh.
She's drawn them, I think, in probably Photoshop or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're hand drawn. But anyway, she's just developed. And it's weird if I go, like I'm going through her Instagram right now, and she's making these huge jumps where you start to get what she's doing now, and I go, man, she's starting to. I talked to her about it. She's starting to define her style quite a bit,
Yeah.
And God, it's bugging me. I can't think of more of them. But anyway, yeah, I think you're in that area where this is starting to feel like a style thing, right?
Yeah.
Now, the only thing I'd say, let me see if I can, and this might be nitpicky, and I'd have to see it more in context. Like, be careful with this. Like, you can do this where it's off perspective. Maybe I'd give this a little more. Now, you're still building this building, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. Here, let me see if I can. And this is just, what I'm going to say here is like just stuff you could try. I don't know if I get, it might work, it might not. Well, everything I say might work, it might not. So, okay, come on. Sometimes it helps with buildings, and you could probably, let's try an Illustrator. Hang on. Sometimes in Illustrator or Photoshop, whatever, I might be able to sort of tweak things.
Cool.
And start to give them a little more flary kind of stuff.
Wait, how did you do that?
That's that tool that we talked about, the pre-transform tool here.
Uh-huh.
And what I did is, I think I put it, we talked about it in class, so you have it on video. But, okay, so when I go, this is a weird tool. We talked about this, how this is just a weird tool. It's a useful tool, but it's, okay, so when I go over a corner, see how I get, watch. Okay, so it's right here, you see that? Yeah?
Yeah.
So when I go over the corner, see how it gives me all the wacky arrows?
Oh, I remember this. Okay.
Okay, then I have to start moving it, and then I go Command, Option, Shift. And then it lets me really tweak it out like that. Because what I was going to say originally,
That's cool. That makes it a lot more.
dynamic.
Yeah.
Hang on. So let's go get rid of this one for now. Now, wait, let's see if we can do it right here. Yeah, these are all together. Okay, so we might go, I'm just going to do it in Photoshop real quick so I can do it quick. Oops. Damn it. Okay. This is the one for, yeah, the volunteer thing, right?
Yeah.
So I might go, like a little bit of line quality will really help you on stuff like this. So like, let's say the light's here, right?
Uh-huh.
So everything away from that light, I could say is a shadow value, which I could do by doing a little heavier line, okay?
Okay.
So I'm just gonna grab a brush that probably won't be very interesting, but I just wanna get my point across. So like here, I could probably hit that, here, here, oops,
Cool.
here, under here. And then like on this window, what I tend to do, see how just punching the line helps it a lot?
Yeah.
And then I might just go, and I would make myself, just like we looked at that Don't Feed the Bear stuff just now.
Uh-huh.
For this, I'd make myself like he did, like 4 or 5 totally stylized trees and a couple of bushes. And I just reuse them, right? So that way I could put, you know, maybe put the same one over here, flip it a little bigger, right?
Yeah. Cool.
Maybe a tree back here. Same tree, right? You have 3 or 4, you just spread them around.
Are you using a mouse or are you using like the pen?
I'm on a Cintiq.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But in Illustrator, you know, I just go,
Right. It takes so long to do the curves.
you'll get used to it. It's
Yeah.
one of the best things that, as stupid as it sounds, it comes out of taking a vector class, is that you learn that, because vector is, or the pen tool's in everything. You need to know it. I don't care if you're a vector person or not. I mean, it's even in Premiere and everything, you know, so in Photoshop, you know, but if I place this right,
Yeah.
then I could get her on this path, you know, if that's what you want to do. And then again, go back to my smooth tool. So it's, well, I'm just using Photoshop so I can do it fast. You know what I mean?
I see. Yeah.
So I can just draw over it real quick. Okay,
That's cool.
go ahead.
I just said that's cool.
What, the Cintiq?
Or just like the extra lines on it just kind of makes it more blended, I guess, or
Yeah.
just makes it more complete. Yeah.
It gives it it pops it.
Yeah.
And then like here, you can do this in Photoshop, or you can do this in Illustrator, where maybe I'll block this out. Because as far as I remember, it's like you can just block this out, right?
Uh-huh.
Then put, yeah, I know I'm doing it really half-assed. So block this out. And then I could come in here and let's get a little, maybe a lighter value of it. And I could do this pretty random.
Oh, to get the glare.
Yeah, to get that. And then I might go in and do one more value that's a little darker.
Oh, nice.
And then we can take back this color. Oops. And just put our windows right over that, our mullion system.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of trying to, I wasn't really sure how to do the windows.
Yeah, everybody, when it comes to reflections, I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to do it. And then here and there, I put a nice shine on them, a couple of them.
That's cool.
And then that's it, right?
Yeah.
The trick with reflections, I think we talked about this with water. You put all the reflections just as one unit, right?
Uh-huh.
And then something goes over them, and that's what's, and then a couple of highlights, and that's what makes it look like a reflection. It's basically something over all that information, right?
Yeah.
And I understand, because everybody, when they look at on those windows, they go, oh, I gotta do all those shapes, and I gotta, I'll make the mullion system, then each window I'll put this shit. No, you put the whole window shape, and then the mullion system solves the rest of it. And the mullion system is the frames, or whatever those are called, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
It also gives you a nice contrasting value or color.
Yeah.
You got all this brown, powder blue goes. I don't know if you've ever seen in houses when you have like a lot of wood, a powder blue sits in there real nice, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So think about that, and also use your color tools in there. That might give you a nice suggestion, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and the girl. So just remember, your line quality is two things that's going to make this work.
Okay.
It's going to be, here's your light source. Here, right?
Yeah.
And all you got to remember is that the shadow side is going to be darker. The darker shadow side is going to be represented by a thicker line.
Okay.
Okay, and a nice thin thick line is really nice. But the other thing is anything you want to separate, and also get a little heavier line. So this bottom right here of the curve of the library is overhanging the doors and everything, right?
Yeah.
So that is a leading edge, so I can hit that, and it'll pull it forward. You see that?
Yeah. I see.
It'll just kind of pull that forward a little bit. You can hit this side because that's away from the light. I can even hit these up here a little bit.
Okay.
That's the way it's going to get light. That's going to go into shadow. See how it pops it?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And you can do that. I mean, all you got to do with that is this. Look. God damn it, it becomes the wrong one. I could probably take all of these. I'm going to take the line off of them. And I could take literally, let's just do it real quick. I'm going to see if I can combine this line and shape. So let's go object, path, outline, stroke. And then let's go, okay, so there it is. So now, oops, that was dumb. I had them all selected. Now I'm going to pull all these down here. I'm going to go up and go compound path, because that makes it all one shape, right? And then I'm going to go, hopefully it'll work with this line or with this ratty line. I'm not sure if it will. Get rid of this. Pathfinder's open. I have two screens going, so it's like
Okay.
sometimes things jump over to another screen. There. Let's see. Hang on. I think it'll still work. What we really want to do is get rid of this side. So if I was doing this with just a regular line, it'd be fine. I mean, a regular shape. And even this, if I was a little more careful on it, I could have just got the one side. So I'll just do one here.
Okay.
And then I can put these up here. So
Oh, wow. Yeah.
then we get a little bit of light casting, correct? Yeah.
That looks
Yeah.
cool.
And these are all simple tools, right? These are just our Pathfinder tools. It's our Pathfinder tools. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now her. Let's grab her real quick. I think you got the right idea here. The only thing I might say. See, when you get this like with a bunch of more stuff like this, it's gonna look cool, right?
Yeah. I hope so.
It will. Why it's not cut and pasting for some reason? Hang on. I know what it is. There it is. I actually don't think she's bad. I'm just curious if we could go. Maybe it's a little more
Oh, I see.
of a walk pose. Who's making hot pockets or whatever?
Making what?
There sounds like a microwave going on.
Oh, no, it's because it's my messenger.
Oh. Tell those people you're in class. All right.
I need to turn, I don't know how to turn off just the sound for that. Oh, I guess I could quit it.
Okay, so maybe a little more like that, something like that, right?
Why isn't it going off?
Actually, I had
Mac,
it
you can
too
turn it
high.
to do not disturb.
Yeah, do not disturb. Oh, you want a Mac?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can just do it down in the dock under. It'll give you those options.
You can also like press like the
Press what?
little like icon in the top right hand corner and just type not disturb it you directly to there's a big search for it.
Service.
All right, Sarah,
Yeah.
is this making sense?
So wait, so should I make it, is that making it more like simplified?
No, I'm just talking about the way her legs are working.
Oh, got it.
I
Okay.
think the way you did, you're doing illustrations, fine.
Okay.
Just because she's
Yeah.
kind of got this kind of weird a little bit.
I know. I have to learn how to draw people. I think that's
But remember, what we're talking about here is like reducing, and this is how I teach how to draw people anyway, is how to reduce it down to sort of its basic geometric components,
yeah.
right? Because you can really build a person. I mean, I could start off with the simplest like shape. I can start off with like really simple shapes, right?
Uh-huh.
I want to make them standing up. And then I just start building into these shapes.
Got it.
People get really hung up on, and all those other things are great, life drawing and all that stuff. That's how I learned how to do everything. But at the end of the day, what you really end up doing is, I'll give him a big portfolio because he's an art student. And then I can start the shoes like that. And then if I want to make him, more like a shoe, I could build him into a shoe, right?
Right.
But like this drawing, it's one of my favorite drawings. I always bring this up. Let me see if I have it already. I already had it. Yeah, okay, hang on.
Sorry, I for some reason it's not working. That I even quit it, but it keeps
Top
popping.
right hand corner, there's like the little it's like the menu for the lines. It's a list kind of thing.
Top right hand corner.
Yeah, like the very top right hand, and then go to like the notifications tab. When you press on that, scroll up, and then there should be like do not disturb,
Oh, awesome.
and then turn that on, and then it just mutes all notifications, and then so it does it for a 24-hour period, and then it automatically switches itself off if you forget to.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so Sarah,
Yeah.
see this drawing?
Uh-huh. Wow.
Look at the feet.
Yeah.
And then look right here. There's just a circle right there. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Circle right there. And then look at how simple the pants are. I mean, this is what you're,
Yeah.
this, that's kind of how I would think of it. By the way, this guy's a top flight character designer for movies and all that kind of stuff. Okay.
Oh, wow.
He's a really good guy to look at just for this kind of basic shape language. Okay.
Okay.
But when you really look at it, like even here, look at her body. Her body's just sort of this one here. Her body's just sort of this.
Yeah.
And then look, just this triangle wedge shape for her shoes.
Right.
And then a tube for her arm, on and on and on, right? I mean, that's how you got to kind of look at it.
Okay.
Now, improving your drawing skills is always good, but I mean, you're creating something that does look stylized and everything, and that's really the goal.
Okay.
Just to look at something. And again, I think, and just in the world in general, I think there's right now is an interesting time because the graphic design people are so bleeding over into illustration and all that kind of stuff now. It's really getting blurred,
Yeah.
which I think has given us a lot of really interesting stylistic things because I like seeing the stylistic approach of a Chip Waz, who looks to me like he probably came out of graphic design, and all these people, Chip Waz, and like that Dofi the Bear guy we were just looking at. I mean, he looks like he came out of graphic design to me. He's a monster illustrator. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know his background. Actually, I need to look up his background. Because he's
That's cool.
I love his stuff. His stuff is so charming. It's so well designed.
Yeah.
Was somebody else? Okay, does all that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, good, man. And by the way, the reason I was saying to flare the top of this building is because if I was going to start drawing this stuff, one of the things I'm probably going to do is go I'm probably going to flare it out anyway.
Right.
But now you got a tool in there that'll kind of help you do that.
Yeah.
I'd probably start off with something like that, or you can go into the free transform tool and just go and be done with it, right?
That's cool.
But remember, all those shapes you're playing with, man, those are your, you can do whatever you want with every shape in there and play with it and have some fun with it, okay?
Okay.
All right. Somebody said they just put something in there? Yeah? Oh,
Yeah.
James, right?
Yes.
This one, right?
Yeah.
I'm still... So those are sort of like the bodies of the victims or whatever?
Yeah.
I like that idea. I still think there's one more level of integrating it into the silhouette.
Okay.
And but you got the main idea there. Now, it's just like we were talking about. It's the exact same thing we we're just talking about with the boba thing.
Right.
Where it's like, okay, she has all these cool ideas in here. How do we unify them all?
Right.
And for me, it was the pool party. And that's just where my brain went. And there's a million different ways you can do that. Same thing with yours now. I want to see, like, how can I integrate that into this overall silhouette? Because the overall silhouette says a lot, right? Okay?
Okay.
Well, just give me that. I want it by Wednesday, right?
Right.
I just want the solution by Wednesday, and then we can start working on it. Because I want to do what we just did with Sarah's stuff, where we start taking it, we can go. And I want you guys, and by the way, I think I told you this last time, I want you guys, if you have a stylistic thing that you're looking at and you're going, I want to do something like that, show it to me on Wednesday, okay?
Okay.
For all you guys. I think I got everybody. Okay, I looked at everybody's I have, right? Yeah. Okay. Questions?
Nope.
No.
Oh, and by the way, you guys, I probably said this before, but like, whenever we get back out of this nonsense, I do all those, we do those Saturday field trips in my Saturday class. And you guys are always invited to go on those field trips. Like, I always put posters up in the hallway, and I put it up on my social media and all that kind of stuff. And the field trips, I just invite everybody to go to. So if you want to come down, like Sarah's talking about drawing, you want to come down and draw with us, I'll spend time with you and kind of show you how to, the basic way that I use field trips as a way to show basic drawing concepts and things like that, okay? And what I'm going to try to do, we usually do a workshop in between terms, and I don't know when I'll be able to do that again. And we do that to raise money for ESOL, to keep that free, all right, when we have the Friday Costume Model Night. But because everybody's been cooped up, and because all this stuff's going on, because I haven't been able to go out and do my field trips and all that kind of stuff, I'm probably going to do some kind of week-long free workshop where I'm going to go over things live, in the classroom, that I feel like I kind of missed out on because of all this nonsense. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, suggestions, anything like that, if you guys, as you're thinking, let me know. But it'll probably be mostly traditional media stuff, drawing, drawing from life, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Also, if you guys want, want to go down the rabbit hole of a little more drawing, go to my YouTube channel, which I can link if you care. And I have a lot of drawing tutorials and things like that. And those drawing tutorials are based on basic concepts. Okay. So if you're interested in that, I'll just post it. All right, you guys, right?
Yep.
Okay. If you want to go look at it, go look at it. If you don't, and the other thing about when I do drawing tutorials online on my YouTube channel, they're never about what you're looking at. So there's one on there where I went to Marchfield and I drew planes. It's not really about planes. It's about spatial relationships. When I show you how to draw buildings, which is, if you're new to drawing, that's the one you should start with, is I'm showing you the same concept as in basic drawing, where you go draw a cube, draw a circle, draw a cylinder, only a building is all those things. So I think it's a lot more interesting to end up with a building learning the same concept as sitting there drawing a cube. You're drawing a cube. The building is a cube. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They're never just about, oh, here's how you draw a plane. It's not about the plane. The plane one is about spatial relationships. I use a plane because a plane is a good object to use for a spatial relationship, okay? But I'll link it on there. And there's a lot of other stuff in there, so just ignore that stuff, but there's a lot of drawing tutorials. And I'm adding a lot right now because of my classes, okay? I'm going to add one within a day or two on landscape drawing, okay? Okay, so you guys are all good?
Yep.
All right, Wednesday, I want to see James. I want to see your concept figured out. And then everybody else, I just want you to keep moving forward. I want to start seeing stuff moving forward now, what you guys are doing. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, you guys. I'll put this up right after it renders. Okay?
Got
All
it.
right.
Perfect.
All right, I'll see you Wednesday, and thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.